And welcome to Flamecast. This is Todd Platt.
And Matt Spielman.
Yeah, and you don't have to compete with another voice this time. We're going
a lot
second
easier.
and third.
We should ban everybody else. I'm only an exclusive interview now. Travis is fun. He's fine. All right, he can come back in. I changed my mind.
Yeah, I think he was going to be busy this morning. So yeah, for those that are just amazed that, holy crap, he's recording one podcast a week after the other one. What the heck, man? Well, it's because we split it up. So Travis is on the first, you're on the second, because schedules did just not collide this time. So, anyways, well, there's a movie that we could talk about. Finally, because someone's seen it on your end, and I think I went. I didn't go really opening night because I think it was actually playing on Thursday.
Yeah,
and I did go Friday after.
Yeah, it wasn't even midnight shows. It was like Thursday evening. They snuck it in.
Of course, we're talking
that
about
Deadpool. He doesn't even follow the movie release rules.
Yeah, well, hey, Star Wars: The Force Awakens did the same thing. So.
Yeah, but people expect that. That's Star Wars. They just have their own rules.
Well,
Hateful Eight, get out of my way.
Yeah. Well, we had, or they had rather, a phenomenal opening weekend. I think they hit the 150 million mark, didn't they? Or just shortly below that?
Yeah, Box Office Mojo is saying 130, but good enough. Hey, good enough that there's going to be another one. That's all that matters.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you guys haven't seen it out there, then
turn back.
Yeah. Pretend that this one came out next month like it probably would have.
And you're a loser.
And go listen to this next month.
So you're a loser anyway. Sorry. Your penance is to go see it now, however form you need to, even if you have to pay Amazon for the rental whenever it is, because that's a long time from now. But you need to see it.
Yep, you do.
Awesome movie. But not kids. I can't believe how many kids were in the theaters after. It's an R movie, people. You don't take your 8-year-old to a movie with a sex scene, okay?
Yeah, I had seen online that there was, I don't know if it was legitimate or not, but it looked like it was a Twitter message that came from Ryan Reynolds, a.k.a. Deadpool, and saying, don't take your kids to this movie because, it's rated R, and we want, all positive feedback, so don't bring your kids and then complain that, there's stuff in this that wasn't good for kids because it's rated R.
He's a naughty superhero.
Yeah, it's like
we want
the positive feedback so we can make a sequel. So don't ruin this.
I saw a movie review that said something like even if your 6-year-old insists that they can see Deadpool because he's a character in Marvel Lego superheroes, you shouldn't take him.
Oh my gosh.
So that's whose fault it is. Marvel Lego superheroes, shame on you.
Yeah, there was a coworker of mine, former coworker from IBM days, that she's like, well, I've got a 11-year-old and a 13-year-old that want to see this movie, and I'm thinking not. What do you guys think? And I'm like, no!
Well,
I'm like, this is not for kids.
How many sex scenes have they seen already? There you go. How many decapitations? Have you talked to them about what decapitation means?
Yeah, and oh boy,
have they been in biology class? They know what happens when you blow a head open. You can have fun with it. I mean, you should. They need to be shocked just a little bit so they understand how far out of reality they are, and they should not just be opening up the question. It's obviously no.
When you said blow, I was thinking of something else before you said head open. That's the kind of movie we're talking about. So yeah, we're gonna spoil the hell out of this one. So starting right off with the opening credits. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Oh, that set the tone so well. Bravo to them. That was probably the one thing I didn't expect. I expected a lot out of this movie. That was one thing I didn't expect.
Yeah. Um.
Although it would have, the only thing that could have been better is if in the closing credits they made sure and line up those names with the people too. I mean, obviously you could see director and whatever, but like in
Yeah.
parentheses, a total tool or whatever it was.
I'm trying to find a list of all those. I had seen one earlier in the week, but
Oh, good. Congratulations, Internet. Way to document that.
yeah. Okay, here we go. Like the writers are the real heroes here. The
Yep.
director's an overpaid tool. Ryan Reynolds is God's perfect idiot, and so on. So yeah, just seeing all that in the beginning, I'm like, it puts you in the frame of mind of what you're gonna see.
Absolutely.
So I thought the plot worked pretty well. Of course, I mean, the way it kind of starts is, well, you had some jumping back and forth because Deadpool is going back to what got him to a certain point where it's kind of funny where the certain point comes into play where like back scenes and current scenes meet. He even recognizes that in the film. So he's like,
Yeah, if anyone can get away with a little exposition, it's Deadpool, right? That's
yeah.
just another breaking of the fourth wall. That's fine.
But if we went,
He's the one character who should be able to do that. Of course he is.
oh yeah, yeah. But if we went linear, um, so I mean, Ryan Reynolds' character Wilson, Wade Wilson, right? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's kind of a mercenary for hire type person. Which I mean, we kind of see that way back in the first Wolverine movie, although that that particular version of Deadpool was like unrecognizable from what would come later, because I guess Ryan Reynolds at that time when they were filming the original Wolverine movie, he wanted to play Deadpool as more like he got to play him in this movie, and they pretty much said, you either play him this way or we're finding another actor. And it's like, but the fans are going to be pretty pissed, and which it sounds like they pretty much were.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so yeah, he ends up meeting up with Marina Baccarin, who plays Commissioner Gordon's girlfriend over in Gotham. So, hey, she's crossing like loyalties here, DC and Marvel.
Yeah. I mean that could set off a thermonuclear holocaust.
Not very many people get away with that.
Although the other thing, just to be a purist, to point out is Vanessa. When Wilson met Vanessa, she was supposed to be a teenager, but that might be a little bit too icky for an R-rated movie. So
yeah.
I don't mind the substitution.
I suppose they had to have some standards.
Yeah. There was a line even there. No children, please.
Yeah. So yeah, they get hooked up together, and after about a year later, he finally proposes to her, and she accepts. And then, well, he's got some medical issues, and yeah, he's got terminal cancer, and he doesn't want to put her through all that, so he kind of goes and leaves, and he's approached by the recruiter that says, we can fix you, pretty much. And I thought that it was really funny that I almost laughed out loud, but I don't know if you recognized who the recruiter was.
No,
I mean, as an
from something
actor.
else?
Not the character, but the actor that played him. If you haven't watched Galaxy Quest lately, you might want to look
Oh my
at.
gosh.
Yes, it's Teb from Galaxy Quest, the one that
Tep
wanted
turned evil? No!
Yeah.
Those guys are so cute.
Oh, no, everything's fine.
But the animal is inside out.
I heard that. It turned inside out?
And it exploded.
Anyways, I almost laughed out loud at seeing Teb for a long time. So yeah, then we run into a couple of characters. Ajax, which they made fun of his name there in one scene. And I didn't realize the other person was named Angel Dust. I don't know if they actually referenced it in the movie or not, but Angel Dust being the female that, kind of works along Ajax at the end of the movie as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm looking at IMDb. I don't even think they even credit that name there anyway.
Huh. Interesting. So yeah, they pretty much torture Wilson until he ends up getting cured, but at a cost. I mean, he's disfigured. His face looks like, as Weasel put it...
oh, no, it is Angel Dust, sorry.
Yeah. As Weasel put it, the inside of someone's colon, I think he says at one point.
No, the avocado fucking...
Well, there's that, too. I think in one of the trailers he said the inside of someone's colon. Maybe they cut that one out or something.
What was something in the topographical map of Utah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they took about 50 takes of that just to say, what would you say about that?
Yeah. So, he ends up escaping after, kind of starting the place on fire and blowing it up and stuff, and him and Ajax.
No, but that's cooler. After stealing a match out of Angel Dust's mouth.
Yeah.
To light his vacuum chamber on fire and blow up the whole room.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Of course, he has Ajax where he wants him, but he says, "Oh no, we can cure you," and well, that was kind of a diversion, and as we later find out, isn't true anyways. So, yeah, he escapes, and we see how he kind of gets back to form and gets his red costume, because he starts out with a white costume, and there's blood all over it. With a suggestion by... what was it? Blind woman named Al, played by Leslie Uggams. She tells him, wear red so the blood doesn't show up or something like that.
Yep.
And so yeah, he goes red, and we see the progression of the costume until it gets to like what it is present day. So yeah, his plan is still to go out and find Ajax and get his cure, but he also runs into a couple of X-Men, Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
That'll teach him to say, make up your own name.
Yeah. I like how when she's introduced, he's like, "Holy fuck, that's a cool name." So, yeah, we kind of see where, they
That's
want
right.
him.
This is becoming a rated R podcast. You better put a warning on here. Or bleep us.
Heck, we've done other ones where we've kind of sworn, and
All right.
I haven't done anything, but
Yeah,
it
but
should
it's
be
lit.
it should be not implied, but
You can't cover Deadpool and not swear.
cautiously implied, I guess.
The non-rated R summary of Deadpool. Well, it's a superhero origin story.
Fuck yeah. So anyways, yeah, they want to recruit him in X-Men, and another part that I thought was funny. I mean, the whole movie's funny, but he's like, "We're going to take you to the professor," and he's like, "Which one, Stewart or McAvoy?" So there's a lot of in jokes like that, like.
Or even the, wow, what a big house, and there's only two of you here. Like we couldn't afford any more X-Men.
Yeah. Or we're in between X-Men movies. So yeah, there's that where they're dragging him off, and well, he cuts off his own hand to get away from them. And yeah, it eventually does grow back, but it's like a little baby hand at first. And what he intends to do with that baby hand overnight, which we kind of see in he
playing with a unicorn.
Yep, he does a flashback, like a rewind type thing, and we see what happens in the middle of the night there. He's like, "Whoops, you're not meant to see that." But
yeah, fast forward past this. In fact, never show it again.
Yep. So eventually, yeah, Vanessa gets captured by Ajax and makes a last stand at what it looks like to be an aircraft carrier that's decommissioned and sitting on a port. But
it doesn't look like an aircraft carrier. It looks like a helicarrier.
Exactly. Which I don't think they were authorized to use. But
whoopsie. Well, that's why it looks like a helicarrier. I'm sure there's the upward thrust thingers, I'm sure, are strategically different.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I'll tell you, there are more possibilities along that line.
Oh.
Yeah. Well. So for those who might not be Deadpool aficionados, there is a life summary on the Marvel website, and the interesting thing about this is, so one of the things, there's one thing that's missing from the whole Deadpool ethos that pretty much is set up for. I mean, it's not really set up for number 2 because all they said was that Cable would be there.
Right.
But the big thing is his relationship with death, the entity death, not just dying or not dying, but a person, a female apparition of death. Because in the Marvel comic universe, Thanos gets mad at Deadpool because he has the hots for death. So, as in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as everyone might know, Thanos has his eyes on the Avengers as well as the Infinity Gauntlet because they're collecting jewels.
Right.
And he just wasted the collector to get some. But Thanos is going to be the main bad guy, I would assume, coming up in Avengers 3, but certainly in Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Deadpool has connections there. So, there's already an expectation that Spider-Man will cross over into Avengers,
Yep.
but and that's of course, is that Fox, whatever that is. People are speculating there might be crossover possibilities with the mutant timeline or mutant storyline.
Right.
And Deadpool could be, I mean, just looking at the connections, could be a factor in it, actually.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Wouldn't
Of course, if they did have him in any of those movies, they'd probably have to tone him down a little bit.
Yeah, he probably won't hit the Avengers, but wouldn't Deadpool and Tony Stark? I wonder if he's in the comics if they've ever faced off, because that would be just the funniest dialogue in the universe.
Well, depending on what happens in Captain America: Civil War, who knows? And I've heard there could be a death in that movie. Could it be Stark? Yeah.
Well, no. Well, one is Robert Downey Jr. supposedly not, or that's the end of his contract. But
yeah,
if you look at the preview, he's looking at War Machine looking not so good. not so
Right,
hot.
right.
So
Yeah, they can kill him off.
whether it's War Machine, whether it's Hawkeye, I don't think it's going to be the big three.
Yeah, probably. All right. So, okay, they're at a helicarrier.
Oh yeah, let's get back to the story.
Yeah. And back to our story. So yeah, as backup, Deadpool brings along Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. So
Upon promising to consider joining the X-Men.
yeah. So they're battling with Ajax and Angel Dust and
And a bunch of goons.
yep, bunch of goons, which one of them turns out to be Hydra Bob, because he ends up having a conversation with him before he ends up getting killed.
Aborting a decapitation, Deadpool recognizes him and has a little chat.
Yeah. I didn't recognize that at first, not realizing who he was until after, when I kind of read some of the, after movie web pages and stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like, who is this guy? But, yeah, eventually it gets to the point where, Ajax is almost defeated again, and then he goes and confesses that, oh, you thought I could cure you? That's not true, and whatever. And I'm thinking, why would you tell someone that? Because it's the only thing keeping you alive. And then Deadpool said the same thing. And I'm like, see? Yeah. I mean, we both can figure it out.
Stupid villain exposition. No good can come of that.
And then Colossus makes his grand speech.
Yep.
And near the end of his speech, Deadpool goes and kills Ajax anyways.
Yeah, Colossus, I don't know. Colossus is definitely kind of naive, but they really are playing up the pretty boy image for him. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Maybe it's just in contrast to Deadpool. Now, I'll say I was even if there's another thing I wasn't quite expecting, because of course you expect the Stan Lee cameo, but even Stan Lee kind of went a little bit in the gutter for his cameo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the announcer at a strip club.
Stan, which scene would you like to be in? Well, let me take a look. Whoa! That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I keep screwing up my lines. I guess the girls just have to keep dancing. Stan. Bad boy.
Stan.
Now, I'll also say one happy, and I assume it's not a coincidence, one happy side effect of this, kiddies, should you need more Deadpool before the next movie comes out, is that, I'll say apparently, but not even apparently, because I got it. The Deadpool video game has been re-released. So the Deadpool video game went off the air for a time because that was published by Activision, and Marvel signed Disney signed an agreement with Electronic Arts for the whole thing. And so that went offline all over the place. But actually, I'm staring at a Deadpool video game ad even on Marvel's webpage. So it's back up on Steam. It's I think it's $30 or $35, which is crazy for a 2013 video game. But it is fun, and if you don't want to pay, there's plenty of YouTube summaries of all the cutscenes, which are what you really want to get to. It's the one video game. It's the only video game where I've always just wanted to get from cutscene to cutscene because it's the funniest part.
Awesome.
We should sign them up as a sponsor, don't you, Todd? I mean, I thought that was a good job I did.
Yeah. And then end of the movie, of course, Vanessa sees Wade Wilson for what he really looks like. But first, seeing a stapled-on cutout of Hugh Jackman in his place. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Now, again, they wouldn't have permission for this, but if he had done a young Commissioner Gordon, that would have been pretty dang funny.
Yeah. Yeah. There might not be, or there might be some people that wouldn't get the joke
too
there,
bad.
but
Then they need to watch more comic book things and support the cause.
Yeah. You know, like Marvel purists that don't have anything to do with DC.
Well, you could
They
just have a
might
picture
not
of the
know.
actor, whatever that is. That's how you get around it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much the movie right there. And I mean, the storyline isn't too impressive, but the way that they go about it, it's just hilarious. You got to see the movie.
Long live interesting comic book characters.
Yeah, there
And
we
hopefully
go.
that paves the way for some other interesting ones. It would be really interesting to pave the way, but Batman's too big to ever take a real dark turn. But it'd be interesting if it would otherwise.
Yeah, well, I've heard that having the success that it did, being a rated R movie, it kind of gives the green light to the next Wolverine movie being an R-rated movie.
Ooh, that can be cool too.
Yeah. So, I mean, all indications I've seen have kind of went towards this will be the Old Man Logan storyline. So I haven't read it myself. I think, it was only released like about a year ago, I want to say. Because I think I got something about it at Comic-Con last May. But, something to look into. Read beforehand if they do go with that storyline. If you want to read the story before the movie. If they go that way. But, yeah, some other Easter eggs they threw in. I mean, they threw in quite a lot. In fact, there's a website out there that has a list of 25 Easter eggs. And one of them that I noticed in the movie that they didn't have on that list, which I thought was kind of weird. But remember they were in the bar. They were beating up on the one black guy, and he didn't die. And that was part of the betting going on. So yeah, he lived, and later on, Wilson is walking through the bar, and he says something to the effect of, "Hi, Luke," or something like that. I'm like, Luke Cage, come on. I'm like, you didn't catch that? But after watching, I gotta admit, I haven't gone all the way through the new series on Netflix. Oh, it's about a month or two old now, Jessica Jones. But Luke Cage plays a big role in that series. And it sounds like he's getting his own series, too. So how they could leave out something like that in their list of Easter eggs is beyond me. But, yeah, I went and saw this Friday of opening weekend. Left work early to do it. And, that was another thing. Okay. So people have heard in previous podcasts that I have my free movie pass. Although a lot of the movies, when they first come out, the movie theater has a no pass restriction. So I was expecting, pay my money for admission, and I got my bowl of popcorn there because being I left work at like 12:30, the bowl of popcorn was going to be lunch. So I go up and, Corey was with me. Corey goes and pays, and he goes and buys his ticket, buys a box of candy, and spends, $10 or something like that. I go up and at matinee showings of any movie in this theater, it's only $5. So beat that some theaters. And so yeah, my popcorn bucket, refill that, and that's like $2. So we're looking at somewhere around $7. So the person at the counter rings that up, and I'm like, I wonder, should I try it? Oh, sure, what the heck, why not? So I go and pull out my pass. I'm like, would I be able to use this for this movie? And she's like, oh, sure. So she goes and like takes the admission off, and right at the time, I don't know if it was like the owner or head manager or whatever. He comes along, older guy, and goes and swaps out the register. And as he's putting it back in, I mean, I'm still standing there. I got my popcorn and everything by this point. And he closes it and he turns back over to the person that helped me, and he's like, "Has he already been helped and stuff?" And she's like, "Yep, he's good to go." And I'm thinking to myself, I haven't paid anything. And I mean, I was expecting to at least pay for the popcorn. So I'm like, even the popcorn? It's like, "Yep, you're good, go." I'm like, all right. So it didn't pay. It didn't cost me a thing to go see Deadpool. I'm like, awesome. So yeah, I got in for free. I'm gonna have to try that next time I go to a movie. Anyways, so yeah, that's Deadpool for you. Unless you got anything to add to that.
No, I refuse to add anything more. If you're curious after all this, you either haven't seen it and won't see it, or you need to see it. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of broke down the plot, but it's everything that goes with the plot that we didn't talk too much about, but that's the guts of the movie. That's the stuff you got to see.
Discussing the plot frees you to look for the good stuff.
Yep. So there you go. Well, another big movie news. I see that they announced on the Star Wars website that they are filming Episode 8 now.
As a matter of fact, I was just looking, I'm not looking at the Twitter feed, but an article that Carrie Fisher's Twitter feed released the working title.
Oh, do enlighten us.
Well, no, it's not what you think. It's the working title, right? This is the fake name that they used to it.
I think I did see this.
Space Bear, Episode 8.
Yeah, Space
Panda
Bear.
in the O.
That's right. I did see that earlier. So yeah, we've got. Well, if you head over to the Star Wars website, they've got a story on there, of course, for it. And
I thought they said the Episode 9 was starting production too, not shooting, but production.
But yeah, we've got written and directed by. How do you pronounce his name? Rian.
Mm-hmm.
Rian Johnson. And then they list the cast members who are returning, which is totally absent of Harrison Ford. For those people that, I mean, either they're keeping it a secret, or, I mean, they should almost type in there, not Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford is not in this movie.
Because there seem to be those people out there that they cannot get over the fact that Han Solo is dead.
Even though he wanted to die in the original trilogy.
Exactly.
So unless Han Solo is technically the equivalent of... I'm not going to go in and say that Supreme Commander, whatever. Who is Palpatine's master? Darth Plagueis. Unless he's the good side of Darth Plagueis and secretly manipulating everyone, including Yoda, to everything, then he did not survive falling in the volcano, and then they have a planet explode on him.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, shortly after the movie, for those of you who remember Maureen on a few podcasts back, she went and emailed me, and she's like, is Han Solo alive yet? She wanted information, and I'm like, well, okay, one, he got a lightsaber through his spine. I don't think you're going to survive that.
Exhibit A.
Second, he falls into the glowing pit. I don't think he's going to survive that either. Third, the planet blows up.
Exhibit C.
It's like, I think he died 3 times in the movie.
He wanted to be quite thorough about it. Now, technically, there are storylines that Palpatine survived that, but again, you'd need to be like the baddest bad, the goodest good badass guy to do that.
Yeah.
Julie still hasn't seen it. I'm sure Julie won't see it until we're out on disc in April, but she will be highly disappointed too. Maybe watch that episode 8. Episode 8 will only gross 1.2 billion because every female will stop going.
Yeah. Okay. What's your number now? How many times have you seen it?
No, I've only seen it once.
Oh.
I'm a parent. I might go today. Actually, I am a bachelor today because Julie is with her parents because I had a business trip. So I'm free to do all those things that I get scowls at if I try to. But I was going to go see Deadpool again, actually.
Go to both.
Why not?
Yeah, you've got all day.
He's young.
Yeah, myself, in fact. I'm thinking later on today because Rachel and the girls are going to be off bowling in a bowling tournament
It's
later
a free
today.
day.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to see Star Wars again.
Hey, by the way, well, since you are bowling people, I was at a very, very fancy hotel in Miami, the J.W. Merritt Marquis, which on the plus side had a full basketball court with like NBA grade hoops, which is quite nice, but also had a virtual bowling alley, but not like Wii bowling. It was like 20 feet of alley with real bowling balls, and we didn't see it in operation, but some kind of screen or end that you hit on, and then it kept going or something. It was weird.
That is weird.
It's
like if you were going to go through all the trouble, why not have just a virtual?
well, they just didn't have the space, so
Yeah.
it's like half of a real alley, and then I don't know what happens that they. To me, it looked like they were trying to make it like a virtual golf course, where you actually hit the ball and it hits the screen in there. But I'm like, but a bowling ball is a little bit more kinetic energy. Like, does that rip all the time, or what happens? So I didn't even get to try it, put it to the test. But it was strange. It was very high-end fake bowling. Apparently, that's what fancy people do.
I guess. Not like our fake bowling that we had in high school gym. Like rubber balls and
yeah, the dodging balls and the foam pins, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Star Wars here.
All things lead back to Star Wars.
They did list off some new cast members. So you've got Del Toro in there, Laura Dern, and Kelly Marie Tran. So as to who they will play, who knows? But yeah, those are the only 3 they've announced so far that'll be.
Can Benicio do anything but bad guys now? Because he's so good at a bad guy. Like if he's a good guy, I'd be like, no, I didn't see that coming.
Oh yeah, also interesting for returning cast members. Okay, so you've got Gwendolyn Christie, so we know that.
Isn't it a way she didn't take her helmet off? She's got to take her helmet off at some point. Otherwise, it's like, how do you know? You hear her voice. You say she's female. Maybe she's just got a high voice, or maybe he's just got a high voice. We don't know.
Yeah, there was some article online just this past week where they had her comment on, if she was disappointed not taking off her helmet or not. And I was like, yeah.
What if? So does she have to do makeup, like when she just puts a helmet on anyway, or she can have her hair however she wants? It's all ratty. Yeah, bloodshot eyes. It's fine.
I would think, whatever. So.
Or like, would that be kind of fun? Like you could have like a weird headband, like one of those funny doctor headbands. It's just like your brain's exposed, and you just take your helmet off to scare people.
Yeah. Oh my God!
You could staple Hugh Jackman to your face, and people don't even think.
Yeah.
Or allow, of course, like all the stormtroopers, right? Allow cameos of people in your helmet. They just have to be your height.
Yeah. Yeah, they did have. Well, it was a couple weeks back now, but they listed out all the extra people they had doing voices for stormtroopers and such in episode 7. And, of course, Kevin Smith got to be one of the voices. And so the last time when I watched the movie, I'm up to 6 now. It'll be 7 today. I'm going to beat Travis. Travis.
That's why, okay.
Yeah, last weekend Travis said he was at 6, and I was only at 5 at that point. So, of course, I had to make up that right away that weekend and go see it again. But,
and he's not here to know your evil plot.
That's right. Next time we talk, I'll be ahead. But where was I going now?
Talking about your 7th time seeing it.
Okay. So, yeah, last time I went through and saw it, I'm like, okay, I know which line Kevin says in the movie now. So I was watching for it this time, and as he was saying it, the stormtrooper that it seemed to come from, the voice, seemed to be a little kind of portly stormtrooper.
He's new.
I'm like, do they do that on purpose? Because he seems a little, wider around the waist.
He was actually on set, right? I mean,
yeah, he was on set, but he wasn't dressed up as a stormtrooper. They just did a voiceover, as far as I know. I'm sure he would have said something about dressing up as a stormtrooper if he actually got to do that, and he hasn't said anything about that. But yeah, that was the scene where he was actually on set. We got to see all that. So. Yeah, and we've got the release date of December 15th, 2017, so just another reason to try to stay alive so you can see the next movie. And it's time for a commercial.
It's the new Star Wars Land Speeder.
Wow, looks like it's floating. The Sand People are coming. It's up to Luke Skywalker and his land speeder to get us out.
Action figures each sold separately. The Land Speeder has a snap-open space hatch, and Star Wars action figures R2-D2 and C-3PO fit right in back.
Hurry, they're advancing. Activate spring glide wheels.
The Force goes with us.
Yeah.
Kenner's new Star Wars Land Speeder. Action figures each sold separately.
And we're back. I think they just released something this past week about it. The next Star Wars fan film contest. And unfortunately, I still won't be ready for that with the audition. I need to get Travis back. Or I suppose I've got some money. I could maybe go out to Travis and do voiceover stuff. Although there was one scene I wanted to reshoot, and I might need him back for that. So again, it's the age-old battle of how do we get Travis back for filming. So we won't be ready this year. Who knows, maybe next year, but it probably won't be worthy of the contest again. I'm just saying. Some of these, some of them last year were actually quite well done. I'm like, I don't know if I can compete with some of those.
You never know. This is a world of kitten videos and pandas sneezing. You never know what will catch people's fancy.
There we go. I'll incorporate kittens.
Darth Meow.
Oh, instant classic. Winner. George Lucas selects.
I just couldn't take my eyes away from
like
the
kittens.
cute little fluff ball.
I like kittens, so I think this one should win.
Yeah, but if you could get a panda, see, kittens might work the first time, then you have to get a panda.
Yeah, pandas would be a little tougher. Everyone's got access to kittens. Pandas, not so much.
First, start a zoo.
Although, let's see, was it pandas? Was it pandas or koala bears? One of the two that there was that job posting for hugging either panda bears or koala bears. I can't think of which one it was now.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Some zoo had a job posting for hugging these things. And that's all your job is giving hugs to bears. Like, okay. So if it was panda bears, there could be an ulterior motive for that person. It's like, I can make a film using these bears. Would they have to be credited?
Baby the bear.
I mean, if I was making a film with the bears, I would credit them. But that's just me.
Okay, so now I quickly went over to the 2015 Fan Film Award winners, and I see The Lesser Evil. And I see the female Jedi in a pose that no male Jedi could get away with. It looks too much like Spaceballs. I turned away from it.
Okay. So, yeah, we're running about, 50 minutes?
Okay, we
So
filled
we're
up that
timing this
time.
quite well.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see both if we keep talking.
Yeah, my cold is kind of lingering yet. I seem a little better than last week, but this blasted thing won't go away. Or wait, it's an R-rated podcast. This fucking thing won't go away.
The freedom to express myself.
That's right. So, I think that's it. Unless you got something that you would like to talk about.
I have nothing more to say. No comment. Stupid Trump.
Okay.
No comment. I choose. Is that kind of like Twilight? Are you on Team Pope or Team Trump?
Oh boy. Yeah, we're staying away from politics in this podcast.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Although, you did have the Sith Apprentice, where we had a parody of Trump.
Yeah.
Back then, but of course that was
That was when he was cuddly and being nasty instead of just nasty.
yeah. So, all right, there we have it. Go and enjoy your bachelor weekend, like I will enjoy mine. All right, this is Todd Plutz.
And Matt Spielman.
And that is a wrap.